Hey, how you doing? My name is Coach JD of jdtraining.com, and this is your February Combat Arts workshop on joint mobility and recovery. Today we're going to be covering some topics on foam rolling and also mobility, which will kind of enhance your training and strength and also your combat training too. All right, we're going to start with the warm-up, and the warm-up usually goes in progressions of 3. We start off with the foam rolling. We got different methods here of foam rolling techniques. We got the rumble roller, which is kind of the extreme end. Then we got tennis balls, med balls, do-it-yourself foam roller, and of course the normal foam roller you can pick up at the store. The purpose of foam rolling is to improve tissue quality. It's not good enough just to stretch a muscle. We have to kind of deal with any knots that we have in the body before we start working on flexibility or even moving. So you want to think of it as like a fire hose with a knot in it. If you pull both ends of that fire hose, you're only making the knot tighter, and it might actually snap at one end. We have to kind of iron out and knead those knots out before we actually start our training, and that's only going to enhance our strength and our combat. All right, the first technique, we're going to try and mobilize the thoracic spine or the middle back. It's more of a mobility exercise rather than a tissue massage or tissue quality enhancement. What he's doing here, he's going to start with a foam roller about middle back. He's slowly going to lean back, keeping his elbows up and together, and he's going to let gravity just kind of release his spine. You almost want to go into extension and wrap around the roller. He's going to shift up this way, find the next vertebrae, and release again. He slowly wants to relax into it. When he's find his full range, he's going to shift up one more time, this way, and then lean back very gradually and controlled. Just let gravity take you there. You'll feel it. Next up, we're going to improve the tissue quality of the shoulder blade area. He's going to give himself a big hug. All right? He's going to roll back and forth. Nice and easy. Now what we're trying to find are knots or tensions that we're holding on either one or both sides of the body. If he finds a spot that's really sensitive or tender, he wants to stay on that spot and let it melt. You want to let it relax and get that knot out. Once he's found it, he'll continue to roll. These particular 2 exercises are very important if you're involved in any strength training with overhead work or pushing work. Also, if you're a fighter, you're constantly throwing strikes forward. It's going to internally rotate your shoulders. We want to kind of deal with all the issues back here and improve the mobility of the shoulder too. All right, so we're going to transition into some lower body foam rolling techniques. I'm going to ask Andrew to actually sit on the roller. Sit right on top of it. We're trying to deal with the glutes and the piriformis muscle here, so I'm going to ask Andrew to put his right ankle on top of his left knee. He's going to grab it with his hand too. He's going to shift his weight to one side and continue rolling slowly, looking for any knots or tensions that he might be holding in there. We want to knead out those knots. If we're sitting on our butts all day at work, we kind of have to massage those knots out. Keep rolling. All right. He's going to switch to the other side if he has nothing there. Nice and easy. And sometimes you'll even find issues on one side that aren't evident on the other side. That's pretty common stuff. Yeah, he has a knot on this side. His face doesn't lie to me. Stay on that knot, let it melt. And then you'll continue rolling. We're going to move along into the hamstrings, which are very important. He's going to sit on his hamstrings on the roller. Now the trick here is to stay long. He wants his chest big, as if he's stretching his hamstrings. So he's leading with his chest, his chin is up, and he's looking for any knots. He might even want to shift weight on one or the other side. All right, you can pick up the speed a bit if you want. Takes a lot of core stability too, a little core work out there and activation. He's going to move along into his calves. So his calves will be on it. I'm going to ask him to put one calf on the other. So one calf on the other shin. That applies more pressure. Kind of make it more intense. He wants to get all aspects of the lower leg, so he can even rotate inside the calf, on the outside of the calf. Nice and easy, looking for any tension. Let's switch legs here. Good. So we're going to talk about the front of the leg now. He's going to transition in a prone position where he's going to be belly down, put his quad will be on the roller now, dealing with any issues up top. Remember, he wants to stay nice and long, pointy toes too. So you're just going to walk it or roll it and rock it back and forth. All right, looking for any issues from the hip flexor down to the top of the knee. We do not want to roll on any hard structures. We want to keep it focused on the soft tissue. So he's just assessing where he's holding his tensions so he can be ready for the training. I'm going to ask Andrew to face you guys. All right, we're going to roll this very important area called the IT band. If you're doing any training in combat training where you're throwing a lot of kicks or holding certain stances, we want to deal with this muscle tendinous area that kind of runs from the hip down to the top of the knee. So he's going to put the side of his leg right on the roller. And this one's going to be very sensitive the first time you do it. You can't run away from it. It's very important that you deal with this issue. All right? At first, if he wants to plant this top leg on the ground to kind of maintain his stability, heel that sole down. That'll alleviate some of the pressure because you don't want to go too hard too fast. He's looking, again, right from the top of the hip to right before the knee cap. Go roll right down. And again, his face won't lie. I'll know exactly where his issues are. You have to look for the spot. It's going to shout at you. Go a little deeper. Go more that way. He's staying nice and long. The tendency is to want to do this, to curl in. You want to stay long so you can get the most out of that stretch and that release. Good. Keep rolling. Pick it up a bit. Nice and easy. You're assessing yourself too at the same time. We're going to switch it up to the other side. And again, he wants to stay nice and long. He's assessing himself, looking for those tight knots. If he finds it, he's going to stay on it and let it melt. Yeah. The last area we're going to work on for the leg, actually, the lower extremities, we're going to park the foam roller aside. We're going to grab the red med ball. All right, so we're going to try and deal with the inner thigh area here. Again, you're going to look like a monkey doing very obscene things to this medicine ball. You're trying to find those trigger points. Even me, we all have these tensions. Find it, stay on it, let it release, continue on. You would switch it up. Do the other side. Again, not so bad on this side. Sometimes we're holding tensions on one side that are more intense than the other side. Find that knot. Let it melt. Continue to roll. We're going to finish off with one more area of foam rolling, which is the sole of the foot. If you're wearing any kind of weird footwear where your heels elevate all the time, or if you're doing a lot of running, you always want to deal with the intricate muscles of the foot. So we're going to grab that tennis ball. Andrew's going to take off his shoe. He's going to put the tennis ball, your average tennis ball, he's just going to roll. Just dealing with any issues he might have on his sole. Now, if your sole is inflamed, if you have really severe plantar fasciitis, you want to stay away from rolling. That might actually make it worse. But if he doesn't have any of those issues, he's just going to keep on rolling back and forth, in and out, inside and outside of the sole. Any of us who supinate on our gait patterns or pronate, for sure this will kind of help you out. We all do, actually. Other foot. And that concludes our foam rolling area.